Christoph, welcome. I hope you're having a great day. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Christoph. He is a law graduate, a sales trainer, a career strategist, a learning and development manager, and the International Mentored Internship Program Director, immersed in creative communication, who possesses well-honored skills in the field of lecturing and training. He is here to talk to us a little bit about 12 steps to become a perfect professional.
First, I want to say that something amazing is happening in Tecmilenio, and Tamara and Ricardo brought for you what's happening now in the world, the future skills. And Tamara, I have to say, I normally teach those 12 steps in 6 months or 3 months program. So 1 hour is a huge stretch. Let me start with how it happened that Koteve and Tecmilenio are doing something beautiful together now. There's a huge shift in the skills all around the world. What young professionals actually should be equipped, and that was always reserved to the top professionals, always directors, executives. They had money for training, they had best coaches, but now things are changing. And all this knowledge, all this amazing knowledge from the top is coming to you now. Universities are working with companies in relation to internships program, to educational programs, or even events like this. All those people are graduates as you also who participate in those internship programs. Me and Rosa Maria will make sure that today during the presentation, if you have any questions, you can ask and put the questions in the chat. What I've learned working with especially young graduates and professionals, there's lots of knowledge you possess at the moment. What is the aim of this presentation? And maybe just to open a little bit different doors and see what happens outside university. What are the top professionals talking about? And if some kind of way we raise your curiosity, or you found something useful or things that makes you better a little, that would be already accomplished goals for us. Where the inspiration comes from, the future skills, from people like you, all the participants of our internships, they say, wow, we want to have that in our program. On the other hand, all the leadership already talking about this. We need to make sure that all those skills are brought to you. Save those 5 years of hardship, guessing. I just want to quickly show you how those future skills program impacts young people. And here will be a few students from all over the world.
Literally amazing how much I've grown. I learned so much about self-awareness. Man, like that has changed my life.
Valuable for sure for me was confidence.
Well, what are your priorities? What do you value? What are these kind of like strategic, high level personal items?
Awesome, because there was this commitment of excellence around it, but there was still the flexibility of learning style.
Universities are investing now and making this shift that when you start your career, you already have created a huge leverage. You already can talk with confidence with top professionals, managers, and create this natural leadership. Step number 1 is the general view on greatness. It includes certain items that are necessary as a starting point. And how we got that knowledge? This knowledge comes from years of experience of our company, and also research done with the top professionals. How to open those doors, how you can open them to yourself, to actually grow as a professional while you're working. I've included just 3, there are more. So first one is no complaint, no blame, and no judgment. Just by removing one of them, you will see amazing change in your life. There are certain exercises which we see on other steps that helps you to maintain that. Complaints, they don't bring any value. Imagine your own situation. When you complain about something, negative emotions is transferred just between 2 people. You want to avoid that. So I want to tell you something about values, because you probably know that big companies all about values now. And it's so important that you are aware and know what are your values. Sometimes what we think our values are, they're not necessarily are those what we think. And how to find those real values in us. Of course, there's certain exercises to extract that from you during coaching, but I give you a very simple one. Look at the moments that you were the happiest and see and extract the specific value from those moments. Career strategy is something that we very often neglect. And that's why top professionals do totally different. They plan. They carefully plan how and where they go. So they invest in those skills to get there as fast as possible. Let's say you want to work for IKEA, yes? So you want to prepare for that interview, be aware what type of skills you need to be ready for getting that job. Work is around 8 hours of your life, 5 days a week. So that's a huge amount of time. So you need to make sure you're happy. And most of the things you probably know and you sense and how they look like and how to deal with them. They're easy in theory, more difficult in practice. Step 2, every human being needs a purpose. So I will tell you about 2 major components. Contribution. So we need to feel we contribute to others. The moment you find and define your purpose, the same reality changes. And that's what top leaders notice. When they hire people, they want to make sure how their purpose relates to your purpose, because the approach to work will be totally different in nature. That if something doesn't grow, will die. If we don't invest in knowledge, you will always surprised. There'll be always freshness in it. And that is beautiful when you connect your purpose within contribution and, of course, growth. Awareness. There are a few concepts that I want to introduce today because I thought they're kind of important. First is a concept of self-deception. And this is a very interesting trap. Is the moment when we rationalize something to the degree that we deny actual facts in our life and we live in the illusion thinking that it's true. How to get out from that situation? There is a great answer to this, and it's in the book called Leadership and Self-Deception. The past doesn't define the future. This is what I learned on neurolinguistic programming courses. And what happened is, at every moment in your life, no matter what your past was, you can change and you can decide completely something different to do in your life. Now, the other tool I really like, if you talk about awareness, and leaders very often use, is calling deassociation. So what happened is, if you're in a heated situation or you're under pressure, they use a certain exercise, very often used in neurolinguistic programming. You go out of yourself and you look at yourself from a perspective. And you look at the situation, the conflict from the perspective. And Tony Robbins said, the quality of our lives depends on the questions we ask. So let's ask ourselves questions. Where we are. Can I make a decision today just to find my purpose? Self-confidence. My approach over the years is to having holistic approach to confidence. It's like holistic approach to a doctor look to our body. What actually other aspects influence, the same with confidence. It's not just to go out and do the presentation. It's just doing those small steps that help you to be more confident. And imagine, you know your values, you already know what you want, you come to the interview or to whatever challenge you have with a huge strength, and that is very important. And it is a skill. Of course, we need to repeat certain steps. So everybody can be confident if we'll make those steps, some of them repeat. The Harvard study discovered that the brain doesn't differentiate between real memory and imagined one. Conscious leaders imagine, and you probably heard that very often, very vividly, where they want to be. They imagine their future so strongly that their subconscious force them to do things towards that aim. We also do things habitually, and that's a danger and beautiful thing. The bad habits create neural connections in our brain, and every time we do something those connections are stronger. If we, for half of our life, we're doing something, imagine how hard it is to change that. You need to identify what habits do you have. If I stop this habit, what would be the other habit I want to replace it with? Even the smell of coffee can be a trigger. Action, getting a coffee, you get reward from drinking that coffee, feeling great, and you invest another effort into repeating that action. Decisions are very important in our life, and some people afraid of making them. But they don't realize when you don't make a decision, you make a decision of not doing it. So there is no escape from it. Very important to respect other choices. And remember, no complaint, blame, or judgment. If you laugh at some of these choices, remember, sometimes you are part of those choices. And we need to communicate. And how communication for professionals, perfect professionals, is important, invaluable. Of course, we can have external and internal communication. We talk, we connect with others, with different things, sales, negotiations, with friends, family. But there is something that new leaders look at a little bit more. Communication within ourselves. How I talk to myself, how I respond to myself, and how I treat myself. And by being aware how I talk with myself and talk to myself and through myself gives you an opportunity to improve your life on a much deeper level. That is a huge power to have, of being aware of your internal communication. It is actually 100%. And I'll tell you why. And this is a huge thing why leaders approach the communication 100. They discovered, and even look at your own personal life in a teamwork. When you share the responsibility for the communication, or you say, I did my best, I think she didn't understand me. So what always happens is that you don't take 100% ownership of what you say, and there's always avoidance of improvement. And if she didn't understand me, how can I say better or listen better in order to understand her or him better? And then I say, what would be the step? What would be the small thing I can do to actually understand the other person and communicate better? The way you respond to situations is completely different. And that is so powerful, that you take 100% responsibility. You don't blame, complain, or judge. Development strategy. So if you know where to go, who you want to be, it's not enough. You need to have tools, and to have a clear strategy to get there. Strategy is about setting your goals for yourself and making the plans to get there. And it's very important that you have that very clear. And I will talk about two components. Start thinking about your aim, and you'll see that going out of the comfort zone will be pleasurable. So what happens is the biggest leaders seek to go out their comfort zone because they know, they learn, they're better, and they're great at their skill. And of course, by establishing those goals, make sure you're aware what type of goals you're establishing, of course, they are able to reinforce that, okay, when I want to get there, these are my goals to get to my purpose, and I know I will have to go out from my comfort zone. Mentorship, something important, and one of the most amazing things which I discovered during my career progression is how mentor can speed up your way of learning and even your way within a career. And it's an art of finding a mentor. So personally, I believe and I saw what mentor can do. And it's so important that you actually, if it's possible, find a mentor. Growth mindset, where people believe that their abilities can be developed. The IQ is not fixed. That's what the research says. And that's what Carol Dweck actually teaches. And that's well adopted for big companies like Microsoft, and saying about how the growth mindset can change your life. Now leaders look at the challenge as something exciting, something they look for to be better and perform better. The next step is leadership and teamwork. It is a choice. That's what I really want to emphasize. Base of the teamwork is actually trust. And the same things in connection with leadership and teamwork is observed by John Maxwell, one of the best leadership experts. Now, the next step is about emotional intelligence. And I have to say, emotional intelligence contains a lot of elements that we included in few slides altogether. Early 90s, David Goleman, who actually created and brought that term to us, and tried to focus just and teach leaders just to manage their emotions and those people around them. And he noticed that within managing emotions, he's able to, without finding people with a business mindset, without education, he said IQ for him doesn't matter. How you deal with people, how you manage your emotions is the key. And that's why he focused, and that's what he teaches leaders. He emphasized self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship management as a key component. And now all components interrelate with each other. As you're self-aware, you need to engage yourself, and how you engage yourself, self-management, because you engage yourself on individual level and also on social level. Step number 10, effectiveness and efficiency techniques. So then you tackled most of the steps and you come to effectiveness and efficiency because you want to work great and do the right thing. Effectiveness is to going into the right direction, to do the right thing. Efficiency is focused on doing the things right. Amazing system created by David Allen, who getting things done system that works perfectly. I remember very much for getting things done is never keep things in your head, always write it down in some kind of, or put it in some kind of medium, on always finish a meeting, a project with the next step. Define clearly what is your next step. And the last point, sales and negotiations. So I love sales. It's all about the new approach. You make friends. Now, sales is about making friends, making those great relationships. First thing you need to know, if you go to sales or convince someone about getting something, you need to first sell it to yourself. You need to believe in what you do. And that's the power coming from. If you don't believe in it, you'll be a crap salesman. Negotiations. I'll give you a tip today. This is some tool can make you out of trouble very often. FBI negotiator Chris Voss gave a name to it. It's called accusational audit. So when you know, and as big leaders know, when they're in trouble or they have certain disadvantage, they come to negotiation, they bring it out first before the other party, and then they get more sympathy. Being brave as a leader is being aware of your leverage and also your weaknesses and bringing that before the other party does. Find us on LinkedIn, connect, and we always expand our social network and professional. If you have any questions in relation to great things we do with Tamara and this great future skills program that is within your university, the 6 months internship, that is also now available online, feel free to contact us directly or speak to Tamara. She has also certain details about the project and we have certain videos about it.
It was absolutely enlightening. Thank you so much, Krista, for the presentation. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye, guys.
And follow the 12 steps.
They sure will. Thank you.
Bye.